Okay, well, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me, for supporting me with this. I'm excited to be leading. It's been a few minutes, so um, the space today is I really want to hold a container for you for self inquiry. We're going to be doing some somatic movements, so you're going to hear me say a lot, keep checking in with your tongue and um, notice what's different now. And so I just invite you to be in that spirit of inquiry with me today, and we'll take a little ride through your subtle body and see what comes up and how we can support you. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. You can go ahead and close your eyes. Find a comfortable place for your hands. I like to put them face down on my thighs, and then you can drag your elbows back so that they're in line with your side body. Um, If you're in a cross-legged position, you can be up on a bolster so that your knees are lower than your hips. Or if you're in Virasana, just palms face down, and then take your shoulders and situate them right over the hips, and then the ears over the shoulders. Check out your chin and make sure that it's level to the ground. Just start breathing. Close your eyes. Notice the eyes descending as the crown and the back of the head lift up. Tune into your tailbone. Feel that rooting deeply. Each inhale, feel the breath rise up through the spine. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just noticing the breath. Is there a particular texture to it or temperature? Is it moving through one of the nostrils more than the other? Start the inquiry here. Now go ahead and part your lips slightly and release the tongue as if it's a wet leaf at the bottom of the mouth. Following the metaphor of the leaf, imagine the breath is a leaf on a stream. Floating effortlessly in the flow. Now do a body scan and notice if there's any pinching or tingling or temperature or buzzing or sensation. And just welcome it to the mat with you. Let's take a few more breaths here. Just really noticing what's happening in the body. Going deeper with the breath. Just as you're breathing, I'm going to read a passage for you to take with you on this journey. Sheng Yan said, "Be soft in your practice. Think of the method as a fine silvery stream, not a raging waterfall. Follow the stream. Have faith in its course. It will go on its way, meandering here, trickling there. It will find the grooves, the cracks, the crevices. Just follow it. Never let it out of your sight. It will take you there." So let's think of this practice today like that fine silvery stream. And the breath meandering here and there. Allow the mind to follow the breath like a leaf on the stream and have faith in its course, in your divine connection to your body. So you can open your eyes if you like, or you can leave them closed. And we're just going to go ahead and inhale and reach the arms up over the head. And then exhale, bring them down again. You can bring them down through prayer. You can bring them down by your side. You can bring them down in front of you. Again, inhaling, follow your breath. Notice the pause between the inhale and the exhale. Just taking the motion with the breath, allowing the breath to lift the arms. Find the pathway that feels the best. Exhale the same way, noticing the pause between the top and the bottom. What's happening with your tongue now that you started moving your arms? Did the other spaces in the body tense up? Where can you flow from? Good. On the next exhale, go ahead and place the palms down in front of you. We're just going to keep your seat where it is and just walk the hands out a little bit. See if you can deeply root the hip bones. And just look for a little stretch between your hip, top of your hip crest, and the first rib. Good. Walk your hands back. And we're going to unfold from this position and head into a tabletop formation. Now again, like we did with the arms, see if you can keep your gaze soft. Allow the breath to start the movement. So on an inhale, the chin will lift up gently, almost as if the palms of the hands are pulling back towards the knees. The shoulder blades roll back. And open the chest forward and lift the chin on an inhale. And then exhale, push through the four corners of the palms of the hands and roll up through cat. I'm just going to move with your breath through a cat and cow. Really allowing the head to drop. Expanding the back body in the exhale. Starting to move now, noticing that pause at the top and the bottom. What's happening with your tongue now? Are you striving or straining for the movement? Or can you allow the breath to initiate and guide you? Good. Now take a few movements on your own. Maybe you want to expand the side body or move in small circles or bigger circles, just not non-effort. Let the breath carry you through the movement. Explore. Go slow. No effort. Now, if you're moving in a particular direction, make sure you even out the other side. just in this cat-cow position. Just want to really explore that space. And come forward back into a neutral space. I'm going to move the right hand in a little bit towards the center of the mat. Make sure they're under your shoulders. And take the left arm open and up towards the ceiling. There you go. Inhale and then exhale. Weave that arm through and land on that left shoulder. Being really mindful of the neck and the head. That's your exhale. Now, keeping up, you can keep the right hand on the ground. Keeping up with your breath. Go ahead and open on an inhale. And then weave through on the exhale again. So we're going to open, left arm goes up towards the ceiling on your next inhale. Now take your own breath, exhaling. Find the pause. Do that 3 times. Once you've completed that, just rest on the shoulder again on the 3rd one. Notice if you're dumping in either of the hips. Notice the opening of the side body. Allow the shoulders to come apart on the back body. Good. When you're done here, you can open back up, and then we're going to switch sides. Taking the right arm up. You getting tangled? Inhale and exhale. And if you need a little more space, you can take that left hand forward. Just want to make sure you're not using your neck or your head in this motion. So then finding the breath, again, 3 times, opening and closing. And on the 3rd one, resting. Enjoying this twisting movement. Imagine you're like a washcloth and start the twist from the belly button. Breathe. What's your tongue doing now? Notice. When you're ready, you can open that arm back up towards the ceiling and come back to neutral. We'll just do a couple more cat-cow breaths here with your own breath, softening the tongue. After a few of these, go ahead and spread the knees wide and go ahead and take your child's pose. You can put your hands out in front of you or curl them around your knees. The most passive position you can find. Now breathe the belly full between the thighs. Inhaling, notice the expansion of the back ribs, side body, forehead to the ground, reverence. Have reverence for yourself for showing up today, for being on your mat, for all the ways that you show up in the world. Soften the tongue. Always check in with the tongue. Where can you soften in your body right now? What new space can you breathe into? Beautiful. Go ahead and plant the palms, and we're going to flip the toes under and send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. I don't want you to arrive at dog. Go ahead and start pedaling the feet. Move towards your first dog of the day. Noticing all those superfoods moving in a different direction. your first inversion of the day. Good. Take a nice big inhale. I want you to open your mouth, exhale, and stick your tongue out. Open your eyes wide and just let it out. Allow the head to hang. Conversations, the to-do list, everything from the day. Let it just drip off the top of the head. You're on your mat now. You're here. Arrive. Beautiful. I'm going to walk the feet forward into a forward fold. Go ahead and inhale, halfway lift, sliding the hands up the shins. Exhaling with your own exhale. Go ahead and drop back down. Good. Now bend the knees and lift the arms up. Big inhale, stretch for the ceiling. Good morning. Stand straight up, mountain pose. And then exhale through prayer. Close your eyes again, palms facing forward this time by your side. Notice the four corners of your feet. So go ahead and lift the toes up. Give them a wiggle. Notice the four corners without the toes. Now spread the toes wide and just let them go. Drop them on the mat, staying strong in the four corners. Now imagine those leg bones spiraling inwards. You can feel your hips open. Inhale through the sternum. Allow the skin of the cheekbones to drip. Soften the tongue again. What's happening in the body? Do another scan. Okay, we're going to inhale, lift the arms up. We're going to go through a sun salutation. So lift the arms up. We're going to exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Follow your breath. Exhale, plant the hands and send the feet back for Urdhva Dandasana. And then move through Chaturanga on your next exhale. And inhale, go ahead and upward facing dog. Good. Push back to Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. And again, pedal the feet. Go ahead and bend the knees deeply. Spread your feet a little wider apart. Bend the knees. Send the hips up. Now start working back towards a straight leg. Beautiful. Open mouth. Exhale. Beautiful. You're going to go ahead and Urdhva Dandasana, so upward staff pose or plank. Move back into plank and then lower. Exhale, and then we're going to pause here for a moment. Just place your forehead on the mat. I want you to notice your breath here. You can go ahead and put your hands underneath your forehead and just rest here. Send your toes back. Yep, perfect. Nope, yeah, that's how you have them. Now totally release the legs. Release everything. Notice being held. Maybe it's reminiscent of when you were a child, being held against a loved one's breast. Breathe. Notice the front body. Notice the expansion of the back body and the ribs. What's your tongue doing now? Where are you holding? Are there any new sensations? Pulsations? On the next inhale, only using the breath, inhale and flip the right toes under and push them back towards the windows, the heel back towards the window. Just inhaling, push back on the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, release the knee. And again, just using your breath, find this motion between the hip and the heel. Notice what happens in the body. Are you straining or striving or engaging any other muscles? What's your tongue doing? Breathe. Mm-hmm. Now let's release that leg all together. Take a moment. Just notice, does the leg feel longer? Is there any new sensations? Your next inhale, let's do that again on the other side. Can you allow the breath to guide the movement? That side feels even. You can go ahead and release it. Just noticing, does one side feel different than the other? Nice big inhale and exhale, like you're just being held against the chest of a loved one. Ah, good. On your next inhale, you're going to roll onto your left ear and allow the right elbow to move towards the ceiling. And don't worry, don't stress. Keep your hands under your head. Reach up. You're going to take your right knee and bend it into a 90-degree position. And being mindful of your navel, you'll take your right arm all the way open and back. Just a simple twist. Just exploring the body here. Nice big exhale. Let me hear you. Soften the tongue and open the mouth. Exhale. Beautiful. When you feel complete and on this side, you can roll back to position 1, hand on forehead. We're going to repeat that on the other side, but I want you to pause here first. See if you can repeat this on the second side using only your breath to kind of get there. So you're kind of half leg, Baddha Konasana, your top leg, yep, and then open that arm up. It's exploring what's different about this side. What's your tongue doing? Noticing any snaps or cracks or clicks or buzzing sensations. Just loving your body. When you feel like you've evened out this side, let's head back to position 1 on your stomach. Now, leaving your hands on your forearms, pinning the hips and not moving any other part of the body. Just roll your head onto your left ear. Now take that right elbow and point it up towards the ceiling, pushing against the palms, leaving them right where they are. It's a very subtle twist. You're pinning your hips, but it's really opening the side body. Notice the length between hip crest and rib 1. And exhale. What's your tongue doing? Roll your head back onto your third eye. And try that on the other side. Inhale, allow the elbow to come up as you go to your ear. Yeah. Really subtle movement. And then exhale, release. Find the pause there and then do the first side again. Inhale, rolling elbow, head. Beautiful. Really notice the peeling of the ribs. Send a breath on that inhale in between all of the stickiness of the ribs. Moving back and forth. Head just rolling. It's almost like you're giving yourself a massage on that third eye, that chakra. Gentle twisting. Imagine the breath spiraling around the spine, filling the rib cage like an umbrella, expanding up and out in each direction. Once you've evened out both sides, just go ahead and pause again in the middle, feeling held, noticing the bones descending as if the front body is a bag of sand. Soften the tongue. Beautiful. So you can reach your right arm up, and we're going to roll over onto our backs. And we're going to take Shavasana. We're going to do a series of movements, and we're going to be in Shavasana in between. And the idea of this is for you to really check in with your body. So we'll start in Shavasana. Completely releasing. So like the front body was sand, now the back body is sand. And the bones get to descend into the back body. Releasing the tongue, letting the legs fall open. You can just release. I can apologize. There you go. Good job. Softening the tongue. Nice. Noticing the breath moving now. How is it different? Rib cage still expanding in each direction. What's different now? We're going to go ahead and bend the knees so that the feet come to the hips, about hip width apart. You can take your hands behind your head and interlace them, cradling the head. Take your feet a little wider so that they're maybe almost as wide as the mat, or at least a little wider than the hips. Yeah, that's better. Good. Very passive position right now, so only using the breath. Go ahead and inhale, and this would be the opposite of when you're on all fours and you're doing like a cat position. So the chest rises to the ceiling. You'll notice the head will tuck forward. The hip bones go towards the tailbone goes towards the mat. And then exhale, curl without lifting your elbows. Just curl the tailbone towards the ceiling. You'll notice that the head actually rocks backwards. So we're just going to inhale and exhale, leaving the tailbone on the floor, almost like we're doing a reverse cat-cow. Really subtle movements. The pelvis is going to tilt, and the head should rock on the hands. If you're not getting the head rocking, you can put the hands back down by the side and just notice what happens when you're inhaling and exhaling and rounding. You'll be giving yourself a nice little massage on that back brain, occiput. What's the tongue doing now? Beautiful. Just inhaling and exhaling. Now, pause again for a moment here. We're going to go ahead and take the hands interlaced if they're not already behind the head. Now take the feet nice and wide on the mat, but still bent in this position. So wide as you can get them, maybe parallel outside edges of the foot, parallel to the mat. Now go ahead and inhale and drop both knees to the right-hand side. You can even push off that inner left foot to get that hip up a little bit. I really want you to use your breath here and check in again with the tongue. Imagine the cheekbones are spreading wide. Soften the sternum. So this will be position 1 on the inhale. Exhale, come back to center pause. Knees right up towards the ceiling would be center. And then we'll inhale and take the knees to the other side. Take a couple of breaths here. Again, noticing you can rock off that inner right foot. Just notice the peeling away of the skin between lower rib and hip crest. And that feels even. Go ahead and exhale to center, knees up towards the ceiling. Now, before we go again, I want you to just imagine, take a big inhale and imagine the legs going to the right. Imagine the breath carrying you to the right, the pause. Imagine the breath carrying you out of it, the pause in the middle. So feeling your breath, moving your legs to the other side and back. And once you've went through that cycle in your head, just following the breath, allow the breath now to carry the legs through this movement. Inhale, drop them to the right. Find your moment of pause. Exhale, bring them back to center. Find a moment of pause. Inhale to the other side. Can you allow the breath to move you? Where might you be holding or tensing? I love seeing all your mouths open a little. Beautiful. I want you to do 2 more of these on each side. And then when you find yourself back at center, go ahead and stretch back out to corpse pose, Shavasana. Just going slow. There's really no wrong way to do it. Just follow what you hear me saying or you think you hear me saying. It's all about you. Notice now what's different. Sensations, pulsations, temperature. We tune in with ourselves in this way. We're really in the spirit of self-inquiry. We're not striving for poses or moving quickly. We're really exploring the journey of self. How your body responds, the positions your legs like to be in. Just notice. Okay, we're going to head back again to the knees bent, feet by the hips, wide as the mat. We're going to do this again. We're going to add the arms now. So go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your head. We'll go slow. So on the next inhale, the knees will drop to the right. And as the knees drop to the right, that right elbow goes towards the right knee. So your upper body is almost like an arm on a clock. So, yep. So just go ahead and keep the knees to the right. And then imagine your upper torso. Your head doesn't come off the ground, but your torso swings to the right. And just feel the opening in the side body on the left. Again, really peeling skin of hip crest. and position of the first rib. Notice that opening. We don't often get breath in there, so send one there now. Soften the tongue and the jaw. And then exhale, and your next exhale, go ahead and come to center. See if the whole body can move as one, as if the exhale is pulling you there. Now pause for a moment. And then we're going to inhale, send the legs over to the left. We have this whole other side. So feet as wide as the mat. Go ahead and send the knees over to the left, and then the upper torso swings left like an arm of a clock. Now release, breathe. Good, nice breath there. Beautiful. When you're done with that side, come on back to center. No straining or striving or stressing. So if there's ever a point where you feel like you need to rest or open your eyes or you feel dizzy, just take Shava. Okay, so now we're going to do this really slow. The breath is going to take us to side one again. We're going to drop everything to the right, the elbow, the legs. That'll be the inhale. Expand off the inner left foot. Exhale, come back to center. Find your moment of nothing there before you take your inhale to the left. Just side one and side two, with pausing at the top and the bottom of each breath. And if you feel like something's sticky and you want to hold longer on one side and you want to be in a couple of breaths there, that's fine. But see if you can use the breath inhaling and exhaling from the right to the center, then the left, then the center. Nice. Sorry, my bad. Hope I don't get points off for that. Just sit on Barb's leg. Breathe here. Yeah, nice, Tracy. One more big inhale and exhale. Come to center. Nice. Get you on the other side. Just going back and forth, feeling the wave of your breath and your body. Noticing the juicy deliciousness. If you've had enough, go ahead and come to center and release. Nice. And I know we had a lot of great superfoods. So if you guys need to get up and go to the bathroom, just like Trent just did, roll to the right side and come up slowly so the head's the last thing to come up. So we are really working in that back brain and the somatic body. All right, let's head back to Shavasana. What's happening now? Releasing the tongue. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and in this position, on the next inhale, we're going to, so just think about what I'm saying for a moment here before you go ahead and do it. We're going to slide the right inner foot up along the left inner leg, like half a Baddha Konasana towards tree pose. And that will be your inhale. So then the exhale will be just moving that leg back down. And we're just going to slide that leg up and down, inhaling and exhaling. You can Have your hands just about anywhere. If they're by your side, make sure your palms are up. You can have them interlaced behind your head or in a cactus position. You can have one hand on your head or one hand on your heart. Just really tune in. Go slow. And after the next one, just go ahead and fully release that leg. Give yourself a moment, a couple of breaths, and let's repeat it on the other side. Gently brushing that foot on the inner leg, giving yourself a nice little lymphatic massage along that meridian, along that line. Helping open hip flexors. See if you can keep your knee out towards the side as you glide it up and down with your breath. To feel like you've evened up both sides, you can go ahead and pause. Nice. Now go ahead and put your right arm up alongside your ear. Once you're in a neutral position, your leg is not, your legs are both straight. Nice. And we're going to roll onto your right side. And you can put your hand in front of you, your left hand in front of you to stabilize. And go ahead and stretch both legs out straight. We're just going to repeat with that left leg, pulling it up into that tree position. Just take if you need to, you can put your foot on the floor in front of you or behind you if you need to stabilize. Just the action of moving the knee, the hip in this way. Just do that a couple of times. Inhaling and exhaling, following your own breath. And after you've done it 2 more times, you can go back on your back and we'll repeat it on the other side. See if you can do that without lifting your head. Take a moment, take a breath in the middle. And then when you're ready, you'll take your left arm by your ear. And you'll roll onto the left side. And we'll repeat, sliding the right leg along that inner thigh, knee towards the ceiling. Exploring this position on the side. What's your tongue doing? Did you forget about the tongue? Your jaw? Are you flexing or tensing anywhere? Or are you in a passive position with the exception of the breath guiding the right leg? Nice. Now, once you've completed and evened out both sides, I want you to, without lifting your head, roll back onto your stomach into the position where your forehead is on your hand. So you might be a little cattywampus on your mat. Just with little effort, see if you can get back to feeling held and loved on the front body. Nice. On the next inhale, flip both toes under and pedal your feet. See if you can get your toes up towards where your knees are. That'll never happen. But just try it. Push the heels back. Send them back. Feel the length in the back body. Good. Now we're going to put the hands down by the side, and we're going to send our hips up and back again for downward facing dog. If you need to take a child's pose first, you can. Tabletop, wherever you need to be before there. And now pedal your feet. Here we are again, inverted, and we're getting ready to head back up to a standing position. So another big open mouth exhale. Let's take 2 of those. Nice. When you're ready, you can step or hop your feet forward for a forward fold. Nice. We're going to inhale, halfway lift when you get there with your own breath, and exhale, fold again. When you find yourself in your next inhale, go ahead and lift your arms up, and this time head into Utkatasana, chair pose. Okay, we're almost all the way back up again after some somatic work, so just check in with your gaze, with your breath. Take some nice breaths here, strong in the 4 corners of the feet. See if you can wiggle your toes. Yeah, nicely done, you guys. Okay, inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands through prayer. And then let's have the hands down by our sides. Close the eyes. Here we are again. What's new? New sensations, new pulsations, perhaps temperature or tingling. Just notice. Now we're going to take all of that movement with the leg, and we're going to shift our weight to the left leg and just we're going to head towards tree pose. We're just going to start to bring the foot up. If you feel stable, bring it all the way up to tree. If you need to keep it by the ankle, that's fine too, wherever you feel comfortable. But here we are again. So now root through the tree. Lift the arms if it's accessible, and just breathe here. Standing, now we're strong. Do you want a chair? It's okay, and sometimes a tree is flexible, right? So allow your branches to just be where they need to be, and then root through the leg again and reach the branches up. Beautiful. Don't hold your breath. Find your tongue. Go ahead and bring your hands through prayer and release the leg when you're ready. Beautiful. Did that feel different today because of the preparation? Just notice. It may have, it may not have, and that's okay. We're in a spirit of inquiry here. So we're going to do that again on the left-hand side, rooting through the right foot, stabilizing, making sure that hip doesn't dump, keeping the space between rib 1 and top of hip crest. Start to move the left leg into position, wherever that position may be for you. Once you feel stable, again, root through the grounding leg, lift the arms up. Maybe there's a little breeze in your branches right now. Peel the skin off the hip crest in between rib 1. Sometimes it helps to have a little micro bend in the knee, and then readjust. And always check in if you're dumping with the hip. Sometimes that can take us off. Just breathing. Beautiful. On your next inhale, you can take the hands through prayer and come down to a neutral position, hands by the side, checking in again with the body. Nice. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple of sun salutations with the Utkatasana, the chair pose in there, and then head back down towards our final pose. So go ahead and lift the arms up on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, following your own breath now. We're still in our breath. Exhaling, release, plant the hands, send the feet back. Down you go towards Cobra. There you go, Urdhva Dandasana. And then up. You can take an up dog or Cobra, whatever feels good right now. Exhale, release, back to downward facing dog. You guys got this. Take a couple of breaths here. Then on your next inhale, step or hop the feet forward. Halfway lift, forward fold. And then lift the arms up into chair pose this time. Nice and strong. Feel the strength in the legs. Root through the four corners of the feet. Good. Inhale, lifting the arms up, stretching up. Exhale, forward fold. Send the feet back. There you go. Take a couple of these on your own now. You know the sequence. Follow your breath. Your breath has been guiding your whole practice, every movement today. Keep it up. Sorry, Tracy. I thought you saw me. Yeah. Feels good? Yeah, good. Really nicely done. Okay, so we're going to set up for Shavasana. Yeah, let's set up for Shavasana. So you can, make sure your head is supported. Make sure you're not touching any props. If you need an extra blanket. Back in Shavasana now. Just notice what's different. Do you feel more connected? Where can you release? Your eyes are closed and you're breathing. Do you notice any particular temperature or colors? Allowing the breath to deepen now. Bones descending into back body as if descending into sand. Imagining your body is like a piece of fabric that's been dipped into the most beautiful color of dye. Just absorbing, soaking up the practice. Allowing a complete embodiment, saturation. Eyes descending into the back body. Cheekbones spreading wide. Skin on sternum dripping. Softening the tongue. Allowing the breath now to deepen. Gently bringing your awareness back to the room, to your body, perhaps wiggling your toes. Taking the index finger to the thumb first, spiraling it on that ever so gently, just noticing that subtle movement and connecting it deeply with this moment of embodiment, saturation of your practice, this intrinsic awareness of self. Now moving the thumb gently over the pad of each fingertip. And just caressing your own fingertips a little bit. Knowing that at any point of your day, you could simply just spin the tip of your thumb on your fingertips and deeply connect back in with this moment, as if taking a nerve tonic or some kind of an elixir that deeply connects you back with self. Maybe moving your body a little bit, taking any stretches that feel appropriate. When you're ready, you'll roll to your right side. You can take your right arm up by your ear and just roll onto that side. Go ahead and curl up into the fetal position. Let's take a few moments here. Just imagining a smaller version of yourself curled right up in that little nook. Go ahead and squeeze that tiny person and silently to yourself saying your own name, kiss that tiny person on the top of the head and say, I love you so much, sweetheart. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for being in your practice. Thank you for all the ways you show up in the world. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Oh, a nice big exhale. Yeah. Even when we don't move a lot, we're doing a lot of movement on the inside. And so really, really have reverence for yourself today and every day. We're going to start moving very slowly, not yet, but towards the first seated position we started in today. I want your head to be the last thing that comes up. You can use your left palm on the ground to start moving, rolling up the side body. Just take your time, take good care of that cervical spine. Maybe even keep your eyes closed. You can feel around for your bolster, your block, or your blanket, or whatever you'd like to sit on. Moving back into position one. Perhaps switching your feet the way you crossed them the first time or the way you always cross them. Just noticing what's different in the body, if that's the position you want to be in. Bringing the hips above the shoulders above the hips, and then the ears above the shoulders. Lengthening through the back of the neck, the crown, making the chin level to the ground. Allow the lips to part slightly. Go ahead and soften that tongue again. Imagine that you're subterranean, you're buried from the hips down. Feel your tailbone rooting like a taproot. Spine sprouting. Mind blooming. Feeling the skin of your earlobes dripping down. Noticing the temperature, the texture of the breath now. Any sensations in the body and how they might be different. Feeling so completely held by this self-inquiry that you journeyed with me on today. Go ahead and place your palms down in front of you again. Bring your forehead to the mat in reverence, if you can, or to a block, or as close as you can, or bend your elbows and hold your head up. Just bow deeply to yourself, to this practice, to the teacher, to all that came before us, all of the ancestors and the teachers that came before us. Just have reverence for all those that are in your life today. When you're ready, go ahead and come back up to your seated position. Lift the arms up towards the sky again. Take a couple more breaths here like we did at the very beginning. Inhaling and exhaling, whatever pathway your arms took for that. Just be here again, softening the jaw. Oh, just remembering where we started and feeling what's different now. Allowing. A couple more breaths like this, and then we'll inhale the arms up. Bring the hands to heart center. We're going to go ahead and seal our practice with 3 ohms. Let's go ahead and inhale deeply and empty the body completely of breath. And then let's inhale again for the sound of Om. Go ahead and bow your head forward. I want to acknowledge you and lift you up today. Thank you so much for being here with me, for being in your practice, and for being on your mat, and for being committed to all of the ways that you impart loving kindness into the world. It's just been my absolute honor and deep mountains of gratitude for each of you. Thank you so much for being in practice with me today. Namaste. How are you guys?